Hello, everyone. I'm Serena. I am the VP of Business Development for CLO Hong Kong in Southeast Asia. And I came here with Jessica. She's from CLO Korea. She is the Biz Dev Manager for Closet. It's a separate division, separate product that she would be covering. I'm sure that a lot of people have heard about CLO as a company or as a software before, but just a brief recap of what we do is that we develop 3D softwares, and we also cover the soft goods technology, including the fashion-related products. And today we would be covering about the end-to-end digital transformation of all the journeys past to present. And also Jessica would be covering about Closet for the 3D assets management. Yeah, so before we start, I just wanted to quickly cover our company's mission, because this was the three missions that we have been emphasizing to our clients since 2009, which was the year that we have begun the business. So the first one that we always told our clients is we're going to virtualize all the garment on earth. Second is we're going to transform the way we produce and consume garments. And then the third one is to organize all garments related data and to make it useful. So actually today's topic is also kind of related to this mission. So I just wanted to recap and to share with everyone here first. Yeah, and to kind of explain a little bit about the journey that we've been going through with our clients since the year 2009, I thought it would be good to kind of wrap up into different keywords to kind of let you understand better. So in 2009, with a lot of our clients, we were talking about piloting. So back then, we were a lot of people were evaluating different 3D softwares, whether this would be efficient for their processes or not. And then after 1 or 2 years, now people are getting different benefits and outcomes and kind of proving that this is working. And then then the keyword becomes 3D implementation. So not only training the software, people are now talking about how to adopt 3D in the full digital workflow and how to do the implementation well. And then it comes to the keyword of 3D roadmap, which is about how to set different roadmaps within the company to have specific targets and specific deadlines in doing different things. And then the fourth one would be expansion. So with the roadmap, people started to expand towards within the internal company. So with different teams, with different product categories, and also externally with different suppliers and also material suppliers, they started to expand the usage together. And then the fourth one was about standardization, which was a very key topic, especially towards COVID had started. So now everyone not being able to meet in person, they had to work remotely. So to do this, the only way possible would be making everything digital and to also talk with the 3D garments itself. So again, it was about standardization. How do we standardize digital processes? How do we standardize the products that we are creating? How do we manage the quality of the 3D products? And then it's also nowadays a lot of people are talking about 3D assets management. So now they have built a lot of data. There's a lot of 3D garments built within this company. Now, how do we organize? How do we make that useful? Was a very big key topic afterwards. And then till now, it's about the end-to-end 3D supply chain, how to make this happen throughout the whole processes. Yeah, so this slide is also just covering about within the 3D supply chain, how 3D garment is not only a 3D garment itself, but it's also consisted of 3D trims, 3D fabrics, 3D avatars, and everything that's used to compose that garment itself. Yeah, and within this 3D supply chain, I'm sure everyone would have heard different brands, vendors using the 3D system. And also not only them, it's also including manufacturing companies, for production, also like trading companies, material trims, fabric suppliers, and also even now till the retailers of making like use of this data with different like stores virtually, also for e-commerce in 3D markets. Yeah, and at the end, I also put like some key players of who are the end users of this 3D, which would be, as everyone knows, designers, pattern makers, technical designers, product developers, merchandisers, and now a lot of companies are even building a specific like 3D team to kind of make use of this solution. Yeah, and I thought it would be also good to show a bit more detailed in a timeline. And this is a case study with one of our clients. They are the pioneers of this 3D digital transformation. And if we could see, they started in 2013. They spent around like 1 year doing all the pilots. And then after 1 year, they were doing a lot of, after like proving that this is working, they started the implementation, which also took, like the initial onboarding took like 1.5 years. And then it comes with like now they onboarded different teams, different internal divisions and also external parties together. And then now how do we standardize everything together and to be kind of like be able to communicate with different parties. And then that standardization is going like ongoing till now. It's like not a one-time off work that they are doing. And then like afterwards, they have set like different roadmaps, like target ROIs, like the percentage of sample reduction that they are targeting. And then after like setting that roadmap, they have started to expand to different category teams and also different suppliers and even till the raw materials, trim suppliers as well, and the fabric suppliers. Yeah, and then like after all these data is like ongoingly created, it was like from 2020, which is like 7 years from that they ever like started CLO. They started to consider like different ways of selling the products. It could be like through virtual showrooms, it could be about e-commerce or even marketing related materials that they would create. And then recently they are now expanding to connect it to PLM systems to kind of make use of this data more for the production related purposes. And then now definitely because of all these data and assets being created, they are now ongoingly organizing all these assets. So actually, it's like if we could see, it's like a 10 years journey that they've went. But we feel like as a software provider, it won't take that long if people start now, because back then in 2013, it was just like so difficult even with the mindsets. So like they had to convince different people, different managers, different like parties that they would be working. So they had spent like even like 2-3 years just to explain that digital transformation is needed throughout the company. But now as everyone like kind of understand it's crucial to run the business, I guess it would be even like half of the time shorter than how they have experienced. Yes, and not only externally, we also do internal developments to make this happen. So as you know, CLO, the 3D software, it's something that was there since the beginning. We have the CLO Fabric Kit related to the fabrics. We also have Closet, CLO Vise, and Connect, which I would cover a little bit more. Yeah, and it like starting from CLO, like what kind of developments we had made throughout the years. Actually, there's hundreds of features. I didn't know like what to kind of specifically share today, but I thought like there was a common keyword that is kind of we're kind of emphasizing and focusing on, which is automation. So like starting from automatic grading, automatic sewing, also automatic pattern making, and 3D arrangements, motion convertings. Nowadays, we are like developing more and more automated functions, and this is just for our users to kind of make use of the software as easy as possible. Because our users are the key players of this digital transformation, we believe that like hearing them and kind of making them easy and convenient would be the most important. Yeah, and we also have like further developments of closet and clothes, but I would leave it to Jessica to cover more in the second part of the presentation. Yeah, and the third part would be about Connect, which it's a 3D marketplace. It's also for 3D galleries and also a 3D creators community. And here, not only about the marketplaces, we also have like connections to metaverse conversions, also like AR, VR. Yeah, and also about the NFT. So to secure different assets, our developers are also developing related to NFT. So in the future, like we also have the function now, but like we would have digital stamps in different 3D assets to kind of secure the ownership of who had created, and also being able to track like who had kind of edited further later on. Yes, so I would like to move a bit more towards different case studies of how our clients have experienced CLO and their kind of feedbacks, their interviews of how the benefits were of using CLO. And the first one is more like a general video of different interviews that was done with our users and clients.
Foundational building block for every person that works in fashion.
CLO for several years, and it's really a very user-friendly software. And for me, CLO is not only the 3D apparel software, it's also an open platform for the people to use it to develop more different kind of products which can be fit for their business.
Things I like about CLO is that it's super fast, it's very easy to use.
已经是我日常工作的一部分。目前，我们已经可以在 CLO 里完成制版、缝制、模拟、渲染、印刷排版等多项工作内容。在设计稿完成的同时，款式渲染图也就跟着一起出来。
크리에이터로서 작업도 할 수 있고 작가로서 성장할 수 있게 되는 제 가장 강력한 무기가 아닐까 생각을 합니다.
Yep, so this was like an overall video of different clients that were using CLO. A lot of them are kind of the pioneers of 3D digitization transformation throughout several years. And I also wanted to specify like two specific case studies of two different clients today. which also kind of explains good of what we wanted to deliver in today's presentation. So the first case is about H&M, and they kind of emphasize of different benefits that they are taking by using CLO. One of them is about like they are getting a lot of more design variations, a lot of more creativity, and a lot of options to select from, and about the fabric waste reduction that they're getting, and about sustainability and lead time reduction.
Introducing CLO. Hi, I'm Alva Claire, and this is, what is this? This is the small things, yeah. Thanks, guys. Hi, I'm Alva Claire, and this is The Small Things, a space created by H&M to help you and I get technical about the things in fashion that really matter. Introducing CLO, a 3D garment simulation. Today, we're going to be looking at some of the ways in which innovative thinking can positively impact the world of design. In traditional design practices, things like unnecessary physical sampling, think fabric waste, are a seriously live issue. Creative changes equals excess samples, and excess samples put more pressure on our planet's resources. But how can this be avoided? Introducing CLO, a 3D garment simulation that allows designers to freely experiment without using any resource. Let's take a closer look. An H&M designer will now show us just how seamless the process of 3D garment simulation can be.
Hi, I'm Matteo, a junior designer at H&M. I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of how to design and modify a dress using CLO 3D. Using this software, I'm able to place the pattern, adjust the lengths, experiment with fabric colors, play around with design elements such as ruching, and change my avatar in an easy and effective way. This dress features in our spring collection. Alva, show us the final result.
Amazing! The finished product is just as major as the design. Designing garments in 3D opens up a world of unlimited design variations. Without the burden of resources and transportation, this leads to a lower environmental impact. As we've seen, virtual sampling is a quick and more sustainable development in the way that brands design. Lead times are reduced, changes are easier, and unwanted samples are completely taken out of the equation. Going forward, it's even possible that we ourselves could buy directly from a 3D garment simulation like CLO, tailoring our clothes to fit exactly the way we want them. Now that's something I can get on board with. You've been watching The Small Things with today.
Yep, so that was the video about H&M. It's also publicly on in the YouTube. So anyone could search about small things, H&M, about CLO 3D, if you would want to look again. Yeah, and the second case would be, second and the last case would be about GMS. It's a trading company. They do designs and manufacturing at the same time. And I just cropped out a short phrase that they mentioned about the benefits that they're taking.
I think 3D design can really help a lot to reduce the number of samples. We have some customers who are very big companies and they need around 500,000 salesman samples per year. We're trying to reduce this number of samples at the moment by 50%. We have several customers who really feel the urge to reduce samples. With these customers, we are working on capsule collections, which are developed fully digitally and also being sold to retail completely digitally. And in this way, we are able to reduce lead times from 90 to 40 to 45 days or something like that. So all in all, I think it is more than clear that 3D design is a must-have in the textile industry.
Yep, so just to recap, they kind of mentioned that they reduced the samples up to 50%. And they also are fully digitizing their capsule collections in 3D and also even selling digitally, which I would also show like how they are selling this. And also their lead time is reducing from 90 to 45 days. And how they have been like selling digitally is really interesting. They had built their own digital showroom. It's also in their website. And they're also actually like located in Hong Kong. And I kind of recorded my kind of, vision of how I'm scrolling in their website. So you could like see different garments. If you click that garment, you would be able to see the 3D products. And then you could also see the different lead times of how much it would be taking, and the buyers would kind of select of what kind of samples they want to proceed with. Yep. So there's actually a lot of case studies, a lot of user stories in the website. So anyone that wants to look more into different stories coming from different users, you could have a look in our website. Yeah, and finally, I just wanted to end the presentation just to explaining of where we are heading. And one of the good ways to explain this is on some of the partnerships and the growths that we are having. So first of all, about the global expansions, actually we now have around like 13 to 14 different offices. We recently opened in Indonesia. So you could see like wherever the offices are the places that we have the most users. And also the places that we want to focus on kind of understanding what they need and also developing what they want. About the partnerships, we have different partners. But I also wanted to emphasize like some of the acquisitions that we had lately and also the investments that we are putting. The acquisitions would be for GoVise. It was a company that develops API plugins or also connectors to PLM systems. And you could see like how our business is trying to expand to also like the PLMs, manufacturing on production related sides as well. And also about the investments that we are putting, we have invested in Pixelpool, which is a virtual showroom technology company, and also Swatchon, a 3D fabric digitization platform, and at the last, FAI, which is an AI solution for apparel production. So like these kinds of investments, you could see like how we're expanding through different parts of the business. Yep, so I would now pass it to Jessica to cover the second part of the presentation. It's about Closet, but just to let you know, like it plays like a key role in this kind of full digital transformation. So it would be really interesting, yeah, to hear. Thank you.
So hello everyone, my name is Jessica Kim, and I am the business development manager from Closet team, and I came all the way from Korea. So today I'll be talking about how we envision the new way of working, how we can truly be connected with 3D assets along the stages of the product life cycle. So before I start my presentation, I have prepared a short clip where how we envision our way of ecosystem, where the 3D design it gets developed through our Clo 3D software, and how that design gets further developed through our collaboration platform, and how it gets released to the public market using our Connect marketplace. So that was the end of the video. So before we move into the presentation, I quickly wanted to introduce you what our Closet service is. So Closet is a collaborative 3D creation workspace. And what we want to do is that we want our users to maximize the value of your 3D assets. And how we enable this is by bridging the stages of the life cycle in one centralized digital space. I know it sounds still vague, so I wanted to go over the next slide and talk a little bit more detail about it. So At this moment, we have about 339,000 users who are using Closet at this moment, and this number has been increasing exponentially with 150% of the annual growth in a yearly basis. And we have a user base about across the more than 50 countries around the globe at this moment, and we have about more than 8,000 enterprises using Closet as a collaboration tool. And one thing that I wanted to share with you is that our client Hugo Boss and then the Gap. So as you guys all know, Hugo Boss and Gap are the pioneer of the 3D within the 3D industry, right? And they have been, we have been working together, try to come up with innovative ways to be able to utilize the 3D assets as much as possible, not only to communicate internally with their company, but also to communicate with their external users, such as the vendors and then the suppliers. So let's get into our presentation. Within the slide, I wanted to quickly go over how the product life cycle in the current stage actually looks like. So what I have prepared from the slide is a general workflow of the product life cycle, starting from the design till the production stage. And as you can see from the slide, although we are putting a lot of effort to design the 3D design, we're not really utilizing enough, right? So let's just talk about it. So even if we create the 3D design, how do we communicate? We actually screen capture it and then attach to the email, which is actually going backward of the 3D, right? And not only that, when we're making the mirror board using the 3D assets, what we do is that we screen capture the images of the 3D design and then copy and paste it in the mirror board or to the PowerPoint. Or when we're creating a range plan, for instance, we're using the Excel sheet to create all the manual works. So the question is, why are we, not fully utilizing the 3Ds along the stages of the product life cycle? The answer is very, very simple. The answer is because we've never really worked that way. We never had to experience, the current stage where we had to use this much of the 3D along with our workflow, right? So that's why today what I wanted to share with you guys is how we envision, how we wanted to tell our users to come up with new innovative workflow to work with 3D, to be closely connected with the 3D assets along these stages of the product life cycle. So as you can see from the slide, we believe that having a 3D asset centered, surrounded by the product life cycle is a way to solve this current stages that we are facing at this moment. So in this case, we believe that all the people who are working with the product side can truly be connected with the product, and also we believe that it is our job and responsibility to provide a service for our users to communicate, to better communicate with your legacy tools such as the PLM and then the ERP. And in order to achieve our vision, we believe that it is a key to centralize the data and centralize the communication and centralize the workflow in one centralized platform. And in the next slide, I'm going to show you how we're going to enable this by walking you through the key features that we offer. So, I know that everyone is now making 3D assets, but now it is really important that we think about how we are going to manage those 3D assets that we created, right? So that's why Closet is providing a perfect asset library where users can store the pre-made assets. So it could be, divided into the product category, for instance, avatars, trims, fabrics, or and so on. And what's really amazing is that the brands or the vendors, they can invite external users who need to design off from this pre-made materials, and then directly use these materials to the Clothes 3D software and start designing in a more quicker way. And secondly, I wanted to talk about how we're going to enable centralizing the communication across the different department, but also across the different communication parties, such as the vendors and suppliers, and also between the brands. So within this video, I have prepared the communication tools that we're providing. So here, this video shows the function called attachment, annotation, where users can directly leave the annotation on top of the 3D viewers. And also, they can attach the image if they have any reference to. And also what they can do is that they can leave a comment. And by leaving a comment, they can also tag specific someone they wanted to tag in. So in that case, the user will have a true source of data where they can see how where exactly that the counterpart wants to communicate using the 3D assets that they have already made. And the next feature I wanted to share with you guys is a configurator. So we all know that now, the 3D design is not only belonging to the 3D designer. Now we're living in a world that, non-3D designers should be able to design 3D more in an easier way without having any professional skills. So that's why we believe that it is really important for us to provide configurators so that the non-3D designer can just easily change the colorway of the pattern and even to change the texture of the pattern, and also even to create graphics within the configurator without having to use the software, and to be easily create and amend the 3D design that you guys have already made. So we are going to enhance the configurator function moving forward even more. So that was something that I also wanted to share with you guys. And the next feature is a assortment room. So assortment room, when we are thinking about, the design review, although we have a 3D design, we don't really have a proper tool to, review the 3D design. So what we do is that we actually screen capture the 3D design into a PowerPoint and then, share that screen into as a presentation mode. So meaning that we're not really fully utilizing. Why not we use 3D viewers to review multiple garments in one window? So we make the full use out of it. So what's really also amazing about the assortment room is that a lot of the vendors can actually showcase their collection to the brands by making the assortment room and share that assortment room to each of the buyers if they want to. So that's another use case of using the assortment room in this case. And next, we have a virtual showroom. So we're going to be releasing a virtual showroom, and we believe that all the 3D designs that you guys have made already through our CLO software can be easily implemented within the virtual showroom that we provide. So within the virtual showroom feature, what we expect is that our users can just easily upload the 3D designs that you guys have already created, and whether it's the 2D or 3D format, and they can also implement all the product information. And what we're going to do is that we're going to be adding order management so that the vendors and then the vendors can also invite the buyers to make the order management within our virtual showroom as well. So the next is a 3D web tech pack. So we know that the production side was a part where the 3D was not really being fully utilized. So that's why we actually came up with a new way how we can incorporate 3D within the production stage. So what we envision is So what we came up with was to provide the 3D viewers within the bills of material, and then within the construction page, and within the point of measure, and within the cost estimation page, so that the vendors and then the brands and then the manufacturers, they can be truly connected with the 3D assets directly from the 3D viewers that we provide on the site. And of course, we're also coming up with ways to export that feature into the printable format so that it's easy to shareable with the user who are not using this platform at this moment. So I wanted to quickly go over the roadmap that we have at this moment. So firstly, we have assortment planning, and secondly, we have a API and plugin integration, and thirdly, we have a data and trend analysis, and then last but not least, we have a metaverse and NFT. So for assortment planning, I quickly wanted to share a slide where we're going to provide a, yes. So for the assortment planning, as you guys all know, merchandisers are the one who should really be connected with the product. But in real life, assortment planning, we're not really utilizing 3D enough. And there's a lot of manual processes going on, making range plan like manually with the Excel or the range board, made by the mirror board or the PowerPoint. So we wanted to make, change this way of working using the 3D. So we're going to provide the web-based range plan and then the web-based range board. So we're using this range plan and then the range board. We believe that the merchandisers can be truly connected with the 3D assets and can get away with all the manual processes that they're doing at this moment. So I will quickly go over the rest of the three roadmaps that the key roadmap features that we have. So as I mentioned earlier, from CLO virtual fashion side, we believe that we want our users to have a open-minded to understand how much of the benefit that the 3D can bring into you. And at the same time, it is our responsibility to come up with ways so that our users can easily use our service so that different tools that they're using, whether it's like the legacy tool or whether it's the ERP or the PLM or the closet, did not have any disconnection to each other, but also but can actually be able to communicate easily to one another. So that's why we believe that it is a key function that we should develop. So we are developing an open API and then the standard plugin for our users to have a data integration with their legacy system. And the data and then the trend analysis is one of the key features that we're developing at this moment. So with having all this metadata from our side, we believe that we can make the most use out of it to our users so that our users can have a better forecast and better design for the upcoming seasons. And not only that, if we actually think about it, there's another feature that I actually wanted to share with you guys today. So you know how like when we're designing like the 3D assets, once it's done, it's really hard to search for the designs that we have already made. So what we end up doing is making the similar design again because we don't know where it lies, right? So that's because, but we believe that we can actually solve that problem also by using all the data that we have. So what we're developing at this moment is that we're going to develop a keyword and then the image search within our search engine. So meaning that our users can easily use a reference image and then keyword to search for the assets that they have already made. So that was something that I also wanted to include. And then last but not least, it's all about how, like our CLO virtual fashion, it's all about we want our users to maximize the utilization of the 3D assets that they have designed. So we want our users to, once they create the design, we want our users to be able to showcase that design to the public market, especially like within the open marketplace. So we have released a open marketplace which is Connect, where the individual users and also suppliers and vendors can showcase their design and even buy and sell the design from one another. So that was pretty much a brief of our roadmap. And last but not least, I just wanted to tell you that CLO Virtual Fashion, we are striving to come up with new innovative working way, how we can truly be connected with the 3D assets along the stages of the product life cycle. And if you guys wanted to, join our journey, then please come talk to us after the presentation. We'll be ready at the booth. So that was end of my presentation, and thank you for listening today.